Good morning from Ring 2 here at the 2026 Youth Sheep Expo here in Greenfield, Indiana. This is first official call, Class 1, fitted Suffolk Rams to the makeup area. Also at this time, be bringing Class 2, 3, 4, and 5 fitted Suffolk U's to the makeup area, please. First call, Class 1, fitted Suffolk Rams. Class 2, 3, 4, and 5 fitted Suffolk U's to the makeup area, please. Our judge is here, and as soon as that Class 1 is here and ready to go, we're ready to go. All right, we're going to get started then. Awesome. Thank you. And once again, we are now showing Class 1 fitted Suffolk Rams, single entry. This is a junior Ram, so this will be our junior champion, fitted Suffolk Ram, and our for today. Once again, like to welcome back to Ring 2 Austin Brockman as our judge for today. So if you're ringside, let's please give Austin a nice little round of applause here as we get started here in day 2 of the 2026 U Sheep Expo.
We start out the Fitted Suffolk show here on this side of Ring 2. A young man brings us one that's super youthful, super elegant, appearing from the side, one that's really extended. I love the length of body that this one comes with. I think his best days are definitely ahead of him. He's kind of awkward and in that growing stage. I think some more time on feed would be very beneficial for this ram in the future.
Congratulations to Brixton Sullivan, your Class 1 fitted Suffolk Ram. You are also the junior Suffolk fitted Ram champ and our overall Suffolk fitted Ram champion. Congratulations. We are now ready to show Class 2. Class 2 fitted Suffolk U's, senior fitted Suffolk U's in Ring 2. Be getting those Class 3, 4, and 5 fitted Suffolks to the makeup area, please. Need those Class 3, 4, and 5 fitted Suffolks to the makeup area, please.
Really nice class of fitted Suffolk yearling ewes out here. Definitely the tallest ewe at the point of her shoulder out here, but one that's just super massive in terms of her center body. One that's got a ton of rib shape and a ton of width. As you analyze this one through the hip, it's truly unique to get that mass and power, especially in one of this frame size. I think it's really easy place for me to start in this terms of this class. A really long-sided ewe here in two, one that is super level down her top, one that does have plenty of rib shape. One that's pretty level out of her hip and gets out and moves with a lot of flexibility. I think a really easy place to follow up that big ewe there in first. We got a ewe here in three, one that's super feminine from the side. I really love the way this one is extended up through the front 1/3. I love her length of body. I need to blow this one apart in terms of her rib cage, make her a little deeper through the center portion of her body and into her flank, but a really nice place to sit there in three. We round out the class with a moderate size one here, one that I do appreciate the power and the width that this one comes with. Is there quite enough of her today to compete with the three up above her? I don't think so. She sits 4 for me today, but a really good class yearling ewes.
Placings in Class 2, fitted Suffolk ewes, senior fitted Suffolk ewes. First in the class went to Brixton Sullivan. Second also went to Brixton Sullivan. Third was shown by Ella Buells, and fourth went to Emma Boyle. We are now ready for Class 3, senior fitted Suffolk ewes in the show ring and ring 2. At the conclusion of Class 3, we will pick your senior division champion. Begin those Class 4 and 5 junior fitted Suffolk ewes ready in the makeup area, please. Thank you.
Just a single entry here in the senior ULAM class. A young man brings us one that looks like she's got a bright future ahead of her, one that's super level in terms of her lines. She's tall at the point of her shoulder, and she's really extended as you analyze her up through that front 1/3. I think this one's going to progress and just get deeper as she gets older and be a really nice yearling ewe down the road.
Congratulations to Brixton Sullivan on your class-winning Class 3 senior fitted Suffolk ewe. We are now ready to show for your senior division champion. We need the first and second place lambs from Class 2, shown by Brixton Sullivan, both entries. And from Class 3, we need the single entry from Brixton Sullivan also. This is the final call for Classes 4 and 5. Junior fitted Suffolk ewes to the makeup area, please. Final call, Classes 4 and 5. Fitted Suffolk ewes to the makeup area, please.
Here in the senior drive, we've got 3 really impressive Suffolk ewes. There's one that comes out here and commands your attention pretty easily in terms of just being massive, having plenty of rib shape and depth, yet still having a larger frame out here. I think it comes down to a little closer decision for a reserve senior champion. I think there's one that's just a little bit more youthful, one that's just a little bit more extended and cleaner fronted. I'll go out and shake the hand of your senior champion.
Congratulations to your senior division champion, exhibited by Brixton Sullivan out of Class 2. Your reserve senior champion, also shown by Brixton Sullivan out of class number 3. Congratulations. We are now ready to show junior fitted Suffolk ewes with Class 4 in the show ring. Have those Class 5 junior fitted ewes ready to go on in the makeup area, please.
Nice class of ULAMs out here. The one we're going to start with is the most fault-free one. I really like the extension and the growth of this ULAM in two, but the one we're going to go ahead and start with is just a little square in terms of her hip. She sets down and plants on them rear wheels a little bit better for me today. She's up on her toes. We're going to go ahead and start with her. I know she's going to be a little bit more of a moderate yearling ewe. She's just the most fault-free, in my opinion, in terms of this class. The ewe here in two, one that's definitely growthier, one that's definitely a little bit longer as you analyze it from the side. One that maybe just doesn't tie that neck in as nicely. One that I need to square up as you really work from that hip back. She gets a little rounder, a little more restricted. I need to strengthen her up on those rear pasterns a little bit today, but a really nice class.
Thank you, Judge Austin Brockman. First in Class 4, junior fitted Suffolk ewes goes to Ella Buells. Second, exhibited by Emma Boyle. We are now ready to show Class 5 junior fitted Suffolk ewes. Single entry. Need those first and second place junior ewes ready to go in the makeup area for the selection of our junior champion at the conclusion of Class 5. After selection of our junior champion, then we'll be picking our overall champion fitted Suffolk ewe. So have those senior champion and reserves ready to go, please.
Just a single entry here in the later ULAM class, one that is super green, one that's very youthful. She's still got some of the baby wool on this one. You can see the spots in her, one that is really level in terms of her lines. I think this one's best days are definitely ahead of her in terms of just developing and growing and just gaining some overall mass. Just going to take some time on this one, but she's got the right makings to make a really good ewe down the road.
Congratulations to Bricks and Sullivan on your class-winning Class 5 junior fitted Suffolk ewe. We are now ready to show for your junior division champion fitted Suffolks. So from Class 3, we need Bricks and Sullivan with his single entry. From Class 4, we need Ella Buells, her first place, Emma Boyle with her second place. And from Class 5, need Bricks and Sullivan with his single entry.
Three really nice Suffolk ewe lambs out here for the drive. Two that kind of differ in terms of their type and kind here closest to me. I think one is a little bit more mature, a little bit more here today, and one's best days are definitely ahead of her down in the future. You can kind of pick and choose and go either way here, but I think there's one that's just more of her here today, and I think in the future that's going to change, but that's just the way I see him. I'll go out and shake your hand for the junior champion.
Your champion junior fitted Suffolk ewe goes out of Class 4 to Ella Buells. Your reserve junior champion goes to Bricks and Sullivan out of Class 5. Congratulations. We are now ready to show for your overall champion fitted Suffolk ewe here in Ring 2. This is the first call. First call for classes 6, 7, 6 and 7, Cordell Rams to the makeup area, please. First call. Classes 6 and 7, Cordell Rams to the makeup area in Ring 2, please.
Here for the champion U lineup in the fitted Suffolks. Four high quality individuals out here. Ones with some rib shape, some length. Definitely got some look from the side. I think it's a pretty easy decision, in my opinion, and one that just comes out here and wins it pretty easily. I think it gets a little bit closer in terms of reserve. I think there's one that just fits into my mold in terms of length, extension, and just going to be a better yearling U, in my opinion, down the road. I'll go out and shake the hands of your champion in reserve.
Congratulations to Bricks and Sullivan out of the senior division with your champion overall fitted Suffolk U. Also, congratulations to Bricks and Sullivan. He also had the reserve champion, overall reserve champion fitted Suffolk U out of the senior division. Congratulations. We are now ready to start the Cordell show with Class 6 Cordell Rams. We'll have a single entry in Class 6, a single entry in Class 7. Also, first call for Class 8, Class 9 senior Cordell U's to the makeup area, please. First call, Class 8 and 9 senior Cordell U's to the makeup area, please.
Just a single entry here as we start the Cordell show. A buck that I really like for his length of body. He's extended up through his front 1/3, one that's definitely growing very nicely for this young man. I think one's going to turn into a really powerful ram as he ages and turns into a yearling down in the future. Congratulations.
Places in Class 6, Cordell Rams. First in class, and your senior champion, Cordell Ram, goes to Dylan Craig. Congratulations. We're now ready for Class 7. Junior Cordell Ram into the show ring. At the conclusion of Class 7, we will be picking your overall champion, Cordell Ram, for today. The second call for those Class 8 and 9 senior Cordell U's to the makeup area, please, in ring 2. Second call, Class 8 and 9 senior division Cordell U's to the makeup area, please, in ring 2. First call, Class 10 and 11 junior Cordell U's to the makeup area. First call, Classes 10 and 11 junior Cordell U's to the makeup area, please.
Again, just another single entry here in the Cordell Ramlam class. One that's super opened up in terms of his skeleton, one that comes with plenty of rib shape, super wide in terms of his loin, one that sits down on a stout set of feet and legs. We'll reevaluate him out here for champion.
Results from Class 7, first in class, and your champion junior Cordell Ram goes to Dylan Craig. Congratulations. So we are now ready to show for your champion overall Cordell Ram. From the senior division out of Class 6 is Dylan Craig. From Class 7 is your junior champion, also shown by Dylan Craig. Last call, Classes 8 and 9. Senior Cordell U's to the makeup area, please. Second call, classes 10 and 11, junior Cordell used to the makeup area in ring 2, please.
Here for the champion Cordell lineup, a couple of bucks that differ in terms of the maturity and the way they're developing in terms of their depth and their rib shape. I think one's out here that's just a little bit more extended, a little prettier as you analyze him from the side. One that sits down just a little bit square in terms of his feet and legs. I'll go out select your champion Cordell Ram.
Congratulations to Dylan Craig out of the senior division with your overall champion Cordell Ram. The reserve was your junior Ram out of class 7, also exhibited by Dylan Craig. Congratulations. We are now ready to jump into junior Cordell U's with class 8 in the show ring. Have those class 9 senior Cordell U's ready to go. Begin those class 10 and 11 junior Cordell U's to the makeup area, please, in ring 2.
Just another single entry here in the yearling U class, one that comes with plenty of body and dimension. I love the stoutness in terms of this female, one that gets out and moves fairly well for me today. Really complete individual that could definitely stand a lot more competition.
Results from class 8 senior Cordell U's. First in the class went to Dylan Craig. Congratulations. We are now ready to show class 9 Cordell U's in the show ring. At the conclusion of class 9, we will pick our senior division champion. So be having those class 10 and 11 junior Cordell U's ready to go. This is the last call.
Difficult decision for me, even only that there's two U's out here. The U I'm going to go ahead and start with just a little bit prettier, a little bit longer from the side, one that's a little more extended as a analyzer up through that front 1/3. Where I need to fix this U is when I set her into motion, she needs to be a little bit more flexible off them rear wheels. I think I just see a brighter future in this one as a yearling U down the road. I don't want to take anything away from this U here in 2. One that's a little bit more opened up in terms of the center portion of her body. One that's a little bit better in terms of her hip. I just need to make her a tad more extended up front. I need to lengthen her out comparatively and stouten her up in terms of her bone work at the ground to compete with one above her. But 2 really high-quality U's out of this class.
Results from Class 9 Senior Cordell U's. First in the class was shown by Dylan Craig. Second exhibited by Emily Mills. We are now ready for the selection of your senior division Cordell U. Need that Class 1, or need the first place out of Class A to Dylan Craig. From Class 9, need the first place to Dylan Craig and Emily Mills. Back in for senior champion consideration, please.
Here for the senior champion drive. We get out here comparing these. I think one's just obviously a lot farther along in terms of depth and having more body. I think one out here definitely has its brightest days ahead of her. I'll go out and shake the hand of your senior and reserve senior champion.
Your senior champion Cordell U came from Class 8, exhibited by Dylan Craig. Your reserve senior champion Cordell U came from Class 9, also exhibited by Dylan Craig. Congratulations. We are now ready to show Class 10 Junior Cordell U's in the show ring. Class 10 single entry. Beginning those Class 11 Junior Cordell U's. Ready to go in the holding area, please. This will be the first call. First call for Class 12 and 13 Texel Rams to the makeup area in ring 2. First call, Classes 12 and 13 Texel Rams to the makeup area in ring 2, please.
Here as we start the junior U-Lambs, one that's very complete in my opinion, one that still is feminine and elegant up through that front 1/3, one that actually progresses very nicely as you analyze her from her chest floor to her flank. She's got plenty of rib shape, one that's developing really quite nicely for this young man and has a bright future ahead of her.
Congratulations to Dylan Craig on your Class 10 winning Junior Cordell U. We are now ready to show Class 11 in the show ring, please. Here in ring 2, Class 11 Junior Cordell U's in the show ring. And ring 2. At the conclusion of Class 11, we will then pick your junior division champion, followed by picking your overall champion Cordell U.
Here in the late spring ULAM class, the ewe that we're going to go ahead and start with is one that's just a little bit cleaner in terms of her front end, one that lays that shoulder in a little bit better for me, one that attaches her neck at the higher point of her shoulder. She does shorten up from flank to flank and tends to run the wrong way for me today, but the same case is here in second as well. One that is a little bit longer from the side, one that gets definitely a lot plainer and lower in terms of the point of her shoulder, one that has got to bring that front end up and relax this one's spine, especially when I set her into motion. But a nice class of late junior ULAMs.
Placings from Class 11, Junior Cordell Hughes. First in the class went to Emily Mills. Second, shown by Dylan Craig. We are now ready for the selection of your junior champion, Cordell U, here in show ring number 2. From Class 10, single entry of Dylan Craig. From Class 11, need Emily Mills and Dylan Craig. Beginning those senior champion reserves ready to go for the Cordell drive.
Here in the junior champion lineup, there's one that commands my attention pretty easily, one that's opened up in terms of her rib shape. She's super long from the side, yet still elegant and feminine enough as you analyze her through that front 1/3, and you ask her to get out in motion, and I think she moves the best out of the 3 out here. I'll go out and shake the hand of your junior champion.
Your junior division champion, Cordell U, comes from Class 10, exhibited by Dylan Craig. Your reserve junior champion U comes from Class 11, exhibited by Emily Mills. Congratulations. We are now ready for the selection of your champion overall Cordell U. From the senior division, we need the champion of Dylan Craig. We need the reserve champion of also Dylan Craig. From the junior division, we need the champion of Dylan Craig and the reserve junior champion of Emily Mills, please. This is second call, Class 12 and 13, Texel Rams to the makeup area, please. Second call, Class 12 and 13, Texel Rams to the makeup area, please, in ring 2.
Here for the champion drive in the Cordell lineup, we got 3 really high quality ewes out here, ones that all got good fleeces and good uniformity as you evaluate them throughout. We got a yearling ewe that's super stout and super big bodied, but yet still feminine enough from the side, and I really love when I set this one into motion. She keeps her spine in check, the best out of the 3 out here. We got a fancy ewe lamb back here with super long-sided, still yet feminine, comes with probably the best hip and the best tail set out of the 3 out here. I think it does get fairly close in terms of picking out here for champion. Let's give him a round of applause. I'll go out and select your champion ewe.
Your champion overall Cordell U for today come from the senior division, exhibited by Dylan Craig. Your reserve champion Cordell U come from the junior division, also exhibited by Dylan Craig. Congratulations. We are now ready to start our Texel Ram show. Class 12 single entry in the show ring at this time. That we need that Class 13 single entry Texel Ram ready to go in the makeup area, please. Also, we need Class 14 senior Texel ewes. Classes 14 and 15 senior Texel ewes to the makeup area, please, immediately. Thank you. First call, classes 14 and 15, senior Texel U's to the makeup area, please.
Start the Texel show with a single entry Ram Lamb here, one that's very proportional from the side, one that comes with a ton of shape and power on the top side of his skeleton. He carries it down into a really big lower stifle and sits down on a good set of feet and legs. Really nice way to start out the Texel show here in the Ram class.
There's been a change in the program in the Texel Ram Show. Class 13 was a single entry and has scratch, so congratulations to Alexis Cook. She is your champion junior division Texel Ram and is also your overall champion Texel Ram for today here at the 2026 U Sheep Expo. Congratulations. So we are now going to be ready to move right on into our Texel U show. We have Class 14 Senior Texel U's in the show ring at this time. Need those Class 15 Senior Texel U's ready to go in the makeup area. Also, need Class 16 Junior Texel U's to the makeup area in ring 2, please. Class 16 Junior Texel U's to the makeup area and ring 2, please.
Really impressive set of Texel yearling ewes out here. The one we're going to go ahead and start with, one that just handles longer in terms of her hind saddle, one that's fresher in her condition for me today. I think a really ultra feminine package to start out this class. That's taking nothing away from this ewe and two. I do appreciate this one being stronger and more level or down her top than our class winner. One that's got a little extra condition on me today. One that just doesn't have as much length as you analyze her from flank to flank as our class winner, but two impressive Texel yearling ewes.
Placings from Class 12, or excuse me, Class 14 Senior Texel U's. First in the class went to Cheyenne Clyde. Second went to Alexis Cook. Congratulations. We're now ready to show Class 15 Senior Texel U's in the show ring here in ring 2. At the conclusion of Class 15, we will pick your senior division champion. So be having Class 14 first and seconds ready to go. Also at this time, last call for that Class 16 single entry Junior Texel U to the makeup area, please.
fairly easy class that sorts itself, in my opinion. The U we start with ultra feminine package. I love the way that this one lays her front end into her, and she proportions really nicely. One that's just got an ultra feminine look from the side, super level down her top, and comes with plenty of width and dimension. Is just a little bit longer from flank to flank comparatively to her one here in second. A super moderate stout one here in second. One that's really opened up in terms of her rack shape, super wide through her hip. I love the boldness of rib that this one comes with. She just doesn't have those added bells and whistles in terms of her front end as our class winner. Shortens up from flank to flank, but two really high quality Texel U's.
Results from Class 15 Senior Texel U's. First in the class went to Alexis Cook. Second, exhibited by Colton Yoder. Congratulations. We are now ready to show for your Senior Division champion Texel U. From Class 14, we need the first place of Cheyenne Clyde and the second place U of Alexis Cook. From Class 15, we need the first place U of Alexis Cook and the second place U of Colton Yoder, please. Back in for junior champion consideration. This is going to be the first call. First call for Class 17 and 18 Columbia Rams to the makeup area in ring 2, please. First call, classes 17 and 18 Columbia Rams to the makeup area in ring 2, please. Also, just to let everybody know that's here ringside, if you have not been over and visited any of our vendors over in the exhibit hall, please come over and do so today. Also, they have a silent auction going on over there to help proceeds help benefit the show. And they will be making a final call for the silent auction items at 10 a.m. So if you are looking to bid, please get over there and do so. The silent auction will end with final bids at 10 a.m.
Four high quality Texel U's out here for the senior drive. I think it is a close decision, in my opinion, especially these first two over on this side. Two super high quality U's. It comes down to just femininity and look, and the way one, I think, just lays her blade in a little bit cleaner in terms of her chest floor, a little more feminine as you analyze her through that next set. I'll go out and shake the hand of your senior champion.
Congratulations to Alexis Cook on being selected as your senior division Texel U champion. Also, congratulations to that champion U came out of Class 15. Congratulations to Cheyenne Clyde out of Class 14 on having the reserve senior division champion Texel U. We are now ready to show Class 16 junior Texel U single entry in the show ring at this time. So please keep that champion senior and reserve champion senior U's close by here ringside, as at the conclusion of 16 we will be picking your overall champion Texel U for today.
Single entry in this Texel ULAM class, one that's super level in terms of her lines, one that's definitely very youthful and immature, definitely a younger ULAM. I think this one's got a really bright future as she feeds on for this young man. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Bentley Kennedy on your first place Class 16 junior Texel U. That is also your junior champion junior Texel U today. We are now ready for the selection of your overall champion Texel U. From the senior division, we need the champion U of Alexis Cook back the reserve champion of Cheyenne Clyde. And from the junior division, we need the junior champion of Bentley Kennedy.
Here in the champion Texel U drive, 3 high quality U's. One's that got plenty of mass and power. One's got plenty of dimension, especially on the underside of their skeleton, and still come with plenty of width through their rack and through their loin. When we get out here evaluating for champion, there's 2 powerhouse U's that pretty much run away with this, in my opinion. I'll go out and shake the hand of your champion in reserve.
Your champion overall Texel U today comes from the senior division out of class 15, exhibited by Alexis Cook. Your reserve overall champion Texel U was your reserve senior division champion out of class 14, exhibited by Cheyenne Clyde. Congratulations to those exhibitors today. We are now ready to start the Columbia show with class 17 senior Columbia Rams into the show ring. That's single entry. Followed by class 18 single entry junior Columbia Ram. So we need to start getting those class 19 and 20 senior Columbia U's.
Class 1 is a scratch, so there's only one Columbia Ram.
Okay, there's been a correction in the show order. Class 17 senior Columbia Rams have scratched. So we are moving on to class 18 single entry junior Columbia Ram into the show ring at this time. So please be getting those class 19 and 20 senior Columbia U's to the makeup area, please. Need those class 19 and 20 senior Columbia U's to the makeup area and ring 2 at this time, please.
Only a single entry here as we start out the Columbia. His young man brings us a March bucklam that's super stout in terms of his bone work. I love the way that this guy is up in terms of his toes. One that's really long from his 13th rib back. One that's got plenty of extension. I think this guy is going to progressively get wider as he feeds on for this young man in the future. He's got the right lines and the right makeup to be a stud buck down the road.
Congratulations to Lane Binnicker on your first place Class 18 Columbia Ram. Along with that, you are our junior division champion today and also our overall champion Columbia Ram here at the 2026 U Sheep Expo. Congratulations. We are now ready to move into the senior Columbia U division with Class 19. Have those Class 20 single entry U ready to go makeup area. Also, first call, class 21 and 22, junior Columbia U's to the makeup area and ring 2, please. First call, class 20 and 21, class 21 and 22, junior Columbia U's to the makeup area and ring 2, please.
Two really nice Columbia U's. Let's start out the U show. You were going to go ahead and, excuse me, you were going to go ahead and start with one that's super elegant and feminine, up through the front 1/3. One that brings it back into a big sprung forerib is pretty deep and definitely the stoutest one at the ground in terms of this class. The young ladies that we bring here in second, one I really do love the design of this one that is still feminine and elegant, one that just isn't quite as square as you analyze her out through that hip and into that dock set, one that doesn't quite have the stoutness that our class winner does, but still a really, really good individual here in second.
Results from Class 19. Senior Columbia U's first in the class went to Nash Arthur. Second in the class went to McKenna Beneker. Congratulations. We are now ready to show Class 20 Senior Columbia U's single entry. At the conclusion of Class 20, we'll be selecting your senior division Columbia U. So please keep those first and second place U's from Class 19 ready to go ringside here in Ring 2. Second call, Class 21 and 22, Junior Columbia U's to the makeup area in Ring 2, please. Second call, Class 21 and 22, Junior Columbia U's to the makeup area, please, in Ring 2.
Single entry in the senior ULAM class. Young man brings us a super growthy female, one that definitely handles with a lot of length from the side, one that's ultra feminine in terms of her front end, one that I do need to square up as you get back into them hooks and into them rear legs, but definitely a female that's going to grow out to be a really big yearling ewe for this young man.
Results of Class 20 Senior Columbia U's first in class went to Lane Beneker. Congratulations. We are now ready for the selection of your champion Senior Columbia U. From Class 19, we need the first place U of Nash Arthur, the second place U of McKenna Beneker, and from Class 20, we need the first place U of Lane Beneker, please.
Three really nice Columbia U's out here for the senior drive. There's two that are a little bit more opened up in terms of their rib shape. Ones are a little bit more mature and come with some more natural width and just a little bit square at the ground, especially when you set them into motion. I'll go out and select your senior champion.
Congratulations to Nash Arthur out of Class 19 with your champion senior division Columbia U. Your reserve senior Columbia U also came from Class 19, exhibited by McKenna Beneker. Congratulations. We are now ready for junior Columbia U's with Class 21, 2 entries. Be having that single entry Class 22 Columbia U, Junior U, ringside, ready to go, please.
Two really nice junior ewe lambs here in the Columbia show. The one we go ahead and start with, definitely one that's the stoutest in terms of her foot size at the ground. One that does have plenty of femininity, one that's a little bit more level and flexible as we set this one in motion. Young ladies here in two isn't cooperating very nicely for her, but one that's super unique in terms of her lines, really ultra feminine and really good looking from the side. One that just doesn't quite have as much rib shape as our class winner, but two high quality ewes that are going to grow out into be really nice yearling ewes.
Placings from Class 21, Junior Columbia Ewes. First in the class went to Lane Benneker. Second went to McKenna Benneker. We are now ready to show Class 22 Junior Columbia U single entry in the show ring. At the conclusion of Class 22, we will pick your Junior Champion Columbia U. After that, we will be picking your champion overall Columbia U for today. So have those senior champions and reserves ready to go also. Thank you. Also, this will be the first call. First call for Class 23, Katahdin Rams to the makeup area and ring 2, please. First call, Class 23, Katahdin Rams to the makeup area and ring 2, please.
Pretty simple class here, just got a single entry, but a younger Columbia ewe lamb out here, one that's at level in terms of her lines, one that does come with some rib shape, one that's going to turn out to be a really powerful, massive yearling ewe that's really good on her feet and legs.
Congratulations to Nash Arthur on your class-winning Class 22 Junior Columbia U. We are now ready to show for your Junior Champion Columbia U. From Class 21, we need the first place U of Lane Benneker, the second place U of McKenna Benneker, and from Class 22, we need that first place U of Nash Arthur, please. At this time, we need the champion and reserve champion senior Columbia Ewes ready to go ringside here in ring 2 for the overall selection of your champion Columbia Ewe for today. Thank you. Also, this will be the second call for Class 23, Katahdin Rams to the makeup area, please, in ring 2.
Here in the Junior Columbia Drive, two that kind of differ in terms of their type and kind here. Closest to me, one that's super extended, super long, one that I think is going to end up being a bigger ewe down the road. I need to see this one progress a little bit nicer as you analyze her in terms of her underline. I need to open her up in terms of her rib cage and just make her deeper and wider overall. The ewe lamb we got back here, one that's definitely plenty of rib shape, super level in terms of her lines. Is she going to be as big and as extended as the one ahead of her? No, but just balances up a little bit nicer, is a little more structurally correct for me today. I'll go out and select your junior champion.
Your champion junior division Columbia Ewe came from Class 22, exhibited by by Nash Arthur. Your reserve champion came from Class 21, exhibited by Lane Benneker. At this time, we are now ready to show for your champion overall Columbia U. From the senior division, we need the senior champion from Nash Arthur out of Class 19. Need the reserve senior champion from McKenna Benneker out of Class 19. From Class 22, the junior champion of Nash Arthur. And from Class 21, the reserve champion of Lane Benneker. Last call, Class 23, Katahdin Rams to the makeup area in ring 2, please. Last call, Class 23, Katahdin Rams to the makeup area in ring 2, please.
Here in our champion Columbia U lineup, pretty easy decision. One I think comes out here, commands your attention, and one that walks away with it in terms of build balance, having plenty of rib shape, super stout in terms of the ground. As we get out here, for reserve, I think things get a little bit closer. I think one's just farther along, and there's just more maturity and this natural shape there, and one's what you see is what you get today. I'll go out and shake the hands of your champion in reserve.
Your champion overall, Columbia U, come from the senior division, exhibited by Nash Arthur. Your reserve champion, Columbia U, also came from the senior division, exhibited by McKenna Benneker. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We are now ready to start our Katahdin show with Class 23. Katahdin Rams is a single entry. Beginning those Class 24 and 25 senior Katahdin U's to the makeup area, please. Need those Class 24 and 25 senior Katahdin U's to the makeup area in ring 2, please.
We start our Katahdin Ram show, one that's super good quality, one that's extended in his front 1/3, super long from the side, very level in terms of his lines, one that is super soft about his rib shape and still yet level out of his hip and comes with a lot of lower stifle shape. He gets out and moves with a lot of flexibility, is really good on his feet and legs. High quality individual star of the Katahdin Ram show.
Placings from Class 23, Katahdin Rams. First in the class, your senior champion Katahdin Ram, and your overall champion Katahdin Ram for today here at the 2026 Youth Sheep Expo goes to Brady Kessler. Congratulations. We are now ready to show Class 24 senior Katahdin U's in the show ring here in ring 2. Be having those Class 25 senior Katahdin U's ready to go in the makeup area, please, here in ring 2. This will also be your first call for Class 26, 27, and 28 Junior Katahdin U's to the makeup area, please. First call, Class 26, 27, and 28 Junior Katahdin U's to the makeup area in ring 2, please.
Really good class of Katahdin yearling ewes to start out this show. The ewe that we're going to start out with, one that's definitely the most powerful. She's got the most dimension on the top side of her skeleton, one that is the squarest and the widest in terms of her hip shape, one that comes with plenty of lower stifle shape, a really easy place to start out this class. The ewe here in 2 is one that is definitely a little bit more extended, a little bit leaner, one that maybe just isn't quite as square as you get her from that hip back in that tail head, one that just doesn't quite get out and move as well as our class winner in terms of her hind legs, but a really nice feminine ewe here in 2. Ewe here in 3, one that's definitely bigger in terms of her rib shape, one that's pretty level in terms of her line. She handles with a lot of length from the side. This one's just getting a little bit too plain up front, a little bit deeper in terms of her chest fork, progressively to her flank, fits into an easy third hole. An ultra feminine ewe here in 4th, one that I appreciate the straightness of lines that this one comes with, one that maybe just isn't as deep in terms of the center portion of her body as the ones above her, one I really need to fix that bottom jaw and knock those teeth back to the pad, but a really nice classic Katahdin ewes.
Results from Class 24, Senior Katahdin ewes. First in the class went to Brady Kessler. Second, exhibited by Kingston Rinker. Third went to Brady Kessler. And fourth to Maddie Hogger. Congratulations. We are now ready to show Class 25, Senior Katahdin ewes in Ring 2. At the conclusion of Class 25, we will pick your Senior Division champions, so have those first and second place senior ewes out of Class 24 ready to go. The makeup area in Ring 2, please. Second call, second call. Class 26, 27, and 28, Junior Katahdin ewes to the makeup area in Ring 2, please. Second call. Class 26, 27, and 28, Junior Katahdin ewes to the makeup area in Ring 2, please.
really high quality class of senior ULAMs out here in the Katahdin Drive. 2U sort up fairly easy for me here in first and second. I think it does get close versus one having a little bit more femininity and one just coming with more pure power. I'm going to go ahead and start out the one that's just ultra feminine in terms of her front end. I think she lays her shoulder in just a little bit neater than our one here in second. One that is super long and level down her side. She's up on her toes for me today. She gets the go ahead. The U I do love here in two. One that is ultra dimensional as you analyze her down her top. One that comes with a ton of rib shape. Maybe just isn't quite as extended as our first place one. That's getting ultra picky. If I could pick her up on her rear wheels a little bit, I think she fights a lot harder for this first hole, just in terms of pure shape and power. But two really high quality U's start the class. Young man brings us a black U here in third. One that's a little bit smaller in stature. One that's super level in terms of her lines. One that's got plenty of shape down her top, and I do appreciate the rib shape of this one. One that just doesn't quite have those added bells and whistles to compete with the two above her, but a really complete individual. We get here to a white U in four. One that's super level in terms of her lines, ultra feminine. One that maybe there just isn't quite enough of her today to compete with the three above her, but again, a fall free one out here in four. We round out the class with one that's super tall at the point of her shoulder, one that's ultra long and feminine from the side. Just when I get to evaluating this one three-dimensionally, she is the most closed up in terms of her rib shape. She gets the tightest in terms of her flank, but a really nice class of Katahdin ULAMs.
Placings from Class 25. Senior Katahdin U's first in the class went to Kingston Rinker. Second, shown by Maddie Hogger. Third went to Leland Ging. Fourth, exhibited by Chloe Decker. And fifth, shown by Brady Kessler. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We are now ready for the selection of your champion, Senior Division Katahdin U. From Class 24, we have first place Brady Kessler. Second place Kingston Rinker. From Class 25, we have first place Kingston Rinker. And second place U of Maddie Hauger for senior champion consideration. This last call for those Class 26, 27, and 28 junior Katahdin U's to the makeup area in ring 2, please.
Here for the senior champion Katahdin U drive, four high quality U's, ones with plenty of shape and plenty of look, ones that got a ton of rib shape. I think there's a couple out here that are just a little bit more ultra feminine, in my opinion. Ones that are a little bit more extended in the front 1/3. Ones that still have plenty of shape and power, but yet still have that show ring eye appeal. I'll go out and select your senior reserve senior champion.
Your champion senior division Katahdin U comes from Class 25, showed by Kingston Rinker. Your reserve senior champion Katahdin U also come from Class 25, shown by Maddie Hogger. Congratulations. We are now ready for Class 26 junior Katahdin U's into the show ring, please. Let's have those Class 27 and 28 junior Katahdin U's ready to go in the makeup area, please, here in ring 2. This will be the first call. First call for classes 29, 30, 31, and 32. Classes 29, 30, 31, and 32. White Dorper Rams to the makeup area in ring 2, please. Thank you.
As we start with the junior ULAM portion, a class that sorts itself pretty easily, in my opinion. One's just a little bit more opened up in terms of her forerib, lays it back into a little bit more depth as you work into her flank. Yet she's still plenty feminine up front. I think she lays her shoulder in there pretty nicely. We got a little bit immature ULAM here in second. One that's super level in terms of her lines, one that's good on her feet and legs. One I think I just need to blow apart and open up in terms of her rib shape and give her a shot more depth for me today, but a really nice class of ULAMs.
Placings from class 6, or excuse me, class 26. Junior Katahdin Hughes, first in the class, went to Maddie Hogger. Second to Kingston Rinker. We are now ready to show class 27. Junior Katahdin Hughes in the show ring, 2 entries. Beginning at single entry, class 28, Katahdin U ready to go ringside here in ring 2. At the conclusion of class 28, we'll pick your junior division champion, followed by your overall champion, Katahdin U, for today.
Just 2 entries in this class. We're going to go ahead and start out here with the ULAM that's a little bit more moderate, one that comes with a little bit more rib shape for me, yet still ultra feminine. She's a little bit leveler in terms of her lines, a little bit better in terms of feet and legs compared to our one here in second. The one in second, definitely a longer sided one that is level down her top. Just when you analyze this one 3-dimensionally, I need to blow her apart in terms of her rib shape. I need to give her some more shape on the upper side of her skeleton and strengthen her on them rear wheels a little bit for me today, but a really nice class of ULAMs.
Results from class 27. Junior Katahdin Hughes, first in the class, went to Maddie Hogger. Second went to Brady Kessler. Congratulations. We're now ready to show that class 28 single entry Junior Katahdin U. At the conclusion of class 28, we'll need the first and second place U's from class 26 and 27 back in for junior champion consideration for the Katahdins, please. Followed by the selection of your overall champion Katahdin U for today. So be getting those champion senior and reserve champion senior Katahdin U's ready to go also.
Just a single entry out here in this last junior ULAM class in the Katahdins. One that really catches your eye in terms of the way this one's built, the way this one's designed from the side in terms of her chest floor, as you work back in that rib shape in the lower flank. One that's super level in terms of her lines down her top. One that, when you ask her to get out and move, is super flexible on both ends of her skeleton. We'll reevaluate her as we work out here in the junior champion drive.
Congratulations to Drew George on your first place Class 28 Junior Katahdin U. We are now ready for the selection of your junior champion Katahdin U's. From Class 26, we need the first place U of Maddie Hogger, second place U of Kingston Rinker. From Class 27, we need the first place U of Maddie Hogger, second place U of Brady Kessler, and from Class 28, the first place U of Drew George. This is your lineup for your Junior Division Champion Katahdin U. Begin those Champion Senior and Reserve Champion Senior Katahdin U's ready ringside here at Ring 2 for the selection of your overall Katahdin Champion. Second call for Class 29, 30, 31, and 32. White Dorper Rams to the makeup area in Ring 2, please. Second call, Class 29, 30, 31, 32. White Dorper Rams to the makeup area in Ring 2, please.
Here in the junior champion lineup in the Katahdin ring, it kind of boils down to two, in my opinion. One that's a little bit more mature, a little bit more advanced in terms of its overall condition and just the way it's opened up in terms of its skeleton. One that's just super cool looking from the side, really extended, but doesn't quite have enough rib shape for me today in depth. I think that one's best days are definitely ahead of her, so it gets nitpicking on a few different things out here when we're evaluating. One that's here today and just has the overall dimension and still yet feminine enough. I'll go out here and reevaluate him and select your junior champion.
Your champion junior Katahdin U come from Class 26, exhibited by Maddie Hogger. Congratulations. Your reserve junior champion Katahdin U, exhibited by Drew George out of Class 28. We are now ready for the selection of our overall champion Katahdin U. From the senior division, we need from Class 25, the champion of Kingston Rinker. Also from Class 25, we need the reserve champion of Maddie Hogger. From the junior division out of Class 26, we need Maddie Hogger. And from Class 28, the reserve junior champion of Drew George. This is your champion lineup for your overall champion Katahdin U. Last call, classes 29, 30, 31, and 32. White Dorper Rams to the makeup area in Ring 2, please.
Out here for champion U, definitely four individuals that are really good for the Katahdin breed. Ones that are super level in terms of their lines, ones that got plenty of shape and plenty of rib shape. But yeah, ones that are still feminine enough as you evaluate them in terms of their front 1/3 and lay their shoulder in pretty nicely. I think it's a pretty easy decision, in my opinion, for the one that's going to go ahead and be champion out here. One that's just super elegant and feminine. I think there's one out here that's just powerful enough to follow up in terms of reserve, good enough on her feet and legs. I'll go out and shake the hand of your champion, Katahdin U.
Your champion overall, Katahdin U, comes from the senior division today, exhibited by Kingston Rinker. Congratulations. Your overall reserve champion, Katahdin U, comes from your junior division, exhibited by Maddie Hogger. Congratulations, both those exhibitors. We are now ready to start our White Dorper show with Class 29 White Dorper Ram single entry. So we need those Class 30, 31, and 32 White Dorper Rams. All three classes are single entries ready to go in the makeup area here in Ring 2, please.
Just a single entry here to start out the White Dorper Ram show. One that's ultra powerful in the way this one is built. One that's super stout and super square as you evaluate him from the ground up. I really love the center portion of his body in this one in terms of the depth and the rib shape that he comes with. It's got plenty of top shape as you evaluate him on the top side of his skeleton.
Congratulations to Vivian Stevenson on your first place Class 29 White Dorper Senior Ram. We are now ready to show Class 30 White Dorper Rams. That's a single entry. Also, we need classes 31 and 32 White Dorper Rams to the makeup area, please.
Again, just a single entry in the White Dorper Ram division. One that is ultra long body, especially from that 13th rib back. One that's got a huge stifle shape as you get around to view him from behind. One that's still balanced enough and nicely extended up through his front 1/3. Really a good individual in this class.
Yeah. Congratulations to Vivian Stevenson on your Class 30 first place White Dorper Ram. We are now ready to pick your champion senior White Dorper Ram. So we need Vivian Stevenson's first place ones out of 29 and 30 for champion consideration, please.
Two really nice White Dorper Rams out here for the senior drive. I think one's just a little bit smoother in terms of his shoulder. Has his front legs a little bit more underneath him, not quite as outside himself comparatively to the other one. I'll go out and select your senior champion.
Your champion senior White Dorper Ram comes from Class 30, or excuse me, from Class 29, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. Your reserve champion comes from Class 30, also exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. Congratulations. We're now ready for Class 31, Junior White Dorper Ram, single entry into the show ring, followed by Class 32, single entry, Junior White Dorper Ram into the show ring. This is going to be first call for the classes 33 and 34, Senior White Dorper Ewes. To the makeup area, please. First call, classes 33 and 34, Senior White Dorper Ewes. To the makeup area, please.
Just a single entry here in the White Dorper class. One that's ultra deep in terms of his side, one that comes with plenty of rib shape. Buck that ties his neck at the right side of the top of his shoulder. A really nice individual in this class.
Congratulations to Vivian Stevenson on your first place Class 31 Junior White Dorper Ram. Congratulations. We are now showing Class 32 Junior White Dorper Rams in the show ring. At the conclusion of 32, we'll pick your junior champion. After that, followed by the selection of your overall champion White Dorper Ram.
Really nice individual here in the late junior Ram Lamb class in terms of the White Dorpers. One that's ultra extended in its front 1/3, one that really lays its shoulder blade in it quite nicely. I like watching this guy get out in motion. He's super flexible. He takes his long stride off both ends of his skeleton. One that is level down his top, and comes with a lot of ultra shape and power. Here in the junior champion drive, one of these bucks out here just handles a little bit longer from flank to flank. One is ultra smooth, and I think his best days are definitely ahead of him. One's just farther along in terms of his maturity. He's still got plenty of shape. Definitely deep about his side. I'll go out and select your junior champion.
Congratulations to Vivian Stevenson on your champion junior white Dorper Ram out of Class 31. Vivian also had the reserve junior champion white Dorper Ram out of Class 32. Congratulations. So we are now ready for the selection of your overall champion white Dorper Ram. The senior division from Class 29, we need the champion senior of Vivian Stevenson. From Class 30, we need the reserve senior champion of Vivian Stevenson's. From Class 31, we need the junior champion of Vivian Stevenson's. And from Class 32, we need the reserve champion of Vivian Stevenson's. So Vivian Stevenson's going to win. She just doesn't know what yet.
Four really nice Dorper Rams out here for the champion lineup. I think there's one that's just ultra shapely in terms of power. He gets out and motors around with a lot of flexibility, wins it pretty hands down. It gets a little bit closer, in my opinion, for reserve out here. I think one just comes with a little bit more length, a little better flexibility off both ends of his skeleton.
Your overall champion white Dorper Ram comes from the senior division out of Class 29, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. Your reserve overall champion white Dorper Ram is your champion junior Ram out of Class 31, also exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. Congratulations. We are now ready to start with Class 33 senior white Dorper ewes in the show ring. Beginning those Class 34 white Dorper senior ewes ready to go in the makeup area. Also, we need Class 35 and 36 junior white Dorper ewes to the makeup area, please. Need Class 35 and 36 junior white Dorper ewes to the makeup area, please.
Really good class. So White Dorper Yearling ewes out here. The ewe that we're going to go ahead and start with is the one that's just the straightest in terms of her lines. I think the one that's the best in terms of right behind her shoulder blade. One that is super long-bodied. One that is still yet feminine in terms of being a mature ewe out here. I really love this ewe in two. One that is super elegant from the side. One that balances up really nicely. I think she follows our class winner just in terms of femininity and being straighter in terms of down her top. We ran out the class with one that gets a little bit rounder for me, one that I do appreciate the rib shape that this one comes with, one that just doesn't balance up as nicely, one that isn't quite as square as you evaluate this one back from her hips to her tailhead and need to square her up in terms of the ground on those rear wheels, but a really good class of White Dorper Yearling ewes.
Placings in Class 33. White Dorper Senior Ewes. First in the class went to Sally Everhart. Second went to Vivian Stevenson. And third also went to Vivian Stevenson. Congratulations. We are now ready to show for Class 34 Senior White Dorper Ewes in the show ring. At the conclusion of Class 34, we'll be picking your Senior Division champion. So be having those first and second place ewes from Class 33 on standby in the holding area, please. This will be the last call. Last call for Class 35 and 36. Junior White Dorper ewes to the makeup area, please, in ring 2. Last call, Class 35 and 36. Junior White Dorper ewes to the makeup area in ring 2, please.
Two really nice senior ewe lambs here in the White Dorper division. The ewe that we're going to go ahead and give the nod to is one that is just a little bit square, really as you work from them hips back to the tailhead, one that's maybe a little bit more appropriate in terms of her condition, one that's ultra feminine from the side and still super level down her top, one that comes with plenty of rib shape and depth, a really nice place to start. You here in two, one that does handle with a little bit more top shape as you get on the top side of this one, skeleton, one that's got plenty of rib shape, one that shortens up just a little bit comparatively to our class winner. She just isn't quite as square as you really get to that hip, back to that tailhead, but two really high quality White Dorper ewes.
Results from Class 34, White Dorper Senior Ewes. First in the class went to Sally Everhart. Second went to Vivian Stevenson. We are now ready to show for your champion Senior Division White Dorper ewe. From Class 33, we need the first place ewe of Sally Everhart and the second place ewe of Vivian Stevenson. From Class 34, we need the first place ewe of Sally Everhart and the second place ewe of Vivian Stevenson. This is the selection of your champion senior division White Dorper U. Be having those class 35 and 36 junior White Dorper U's ready to go in the holding area, please.
Four high-quality White Dorper U's in the senior division drive. I think there's a couple of U's that just have so much more dimension, so much more rib shape. Ones that are definitely more mature, but ones that are just super high-quality U's that are still really feminine in terms of their look and just straight in terms of their lines. I'll go out and shake the hand of your senior champion.
Your champion senior division White Dorper U comes out of class 33, exhibited by Sally Everhart. Congratulations. Your reserve champion senior White Dorper U also come from class 33, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. Congratulations, both those exhibitors. We are now ready for class 35 junior White Dorper U's in the show ring, please. Please be having the class 36 single entry junior White Dorper U ready to go on standby in ring 2. This will be the first call for classes 37, 38, 39, and 40 Dorper Rams, 37, 38, 39, and 40 Dorper Rams to the makeup area in ring 2, please.
Two nice ULAMs as we start with the junior division. One comes out here, I think wins pretty easily, in my opinion. Just so much more correct. Down her top line, a little bit fuller there as you analyze her right behind the shoulder. One that's ultra feminine in terms of her front end, cleaner in terms of her chest floor. One that just checks a lot of boxes for me today. I don't want to take anything away from this U, and two, one that is definitely long necked, and I love the way that it attaches at the top side of her shoulder. One that maybe just isn't quite as smooth as you analyze her down her top line. I do appreciate the depth and the balance this one comes with in terms of her underline. Just need to fix her in terms of her structure ever so slightly to compete with the one up above her, but really good class.
Results of Class 35 Junior White Dorper Ewes. First in the class went to Alexis Cook. Second went to Vivian Stevenson. Congratulations. We're now ready to show that single entry Class 36 White Dorper U. At the conclusion of Class 36, we'll pick your Junior Division champion White Dorper U, followed by the selection of your overall champion White Dorper U for today here at the 2026 U Sheep Expo.
A very young, immature ewe lamb out here at round out the White Dorper division. One that is ultra feminine and fresh in terms of her condition. She's level in terms of her lines. Has got plenty of rib shape. When this one gets out and moves, she's plenty flexible off both ends of her skeleton. A really nice individual in this class.
Congratulations to Vivian Stevenson on your first place Class 36 Junior White Dorper U. It is now time to select your champion Junior Division White Dorper U. Out of Class 35, we need the first place U of Alexis Cook, the second place U of Vivian Stevenson, and out of Class 36, we need the first place U of Vivian Stevenson. This is your lineup for your Junior Division champion White Dorper U. At the conclusion of your junior champion selection, we'll be selecting your overall champion White Dorper U. So we'll be having those senior champion and reserve ready to go in the makeup area. Second call, Class 37, 38, 39, and 40. Dorper Rams to the makeup area in ring 2, please. Second call, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Dorper Rams to the makeup area in ring 2, please.
Only 3 out here for the junior champion drive. One that just checks the most boxes in terms of my opinion. One that's just the smoothest in terms of the way she's made. One that's ultra feminine in terms of the front end and still comes with plenty of rib shape. I think for reserve it gets a little bit closer in my opinion. I think there's one that's just a little bit more massive as you really analyze her from the hips back. One that comes with a little bit more stifle shape. I'll go out and select your junior champion.
Your champion junior White Dorper U comes out of Class 35, is shown by Alexis Cook. Your reserve junior champion White Dorper U, also out of Class 35, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We are now ready for the selection of your overall champion White Dorper U here in ring 2. From the senior division, we need the champion White Dorper U of Sally Everhart out of Class 33. The reserve champion Senior U out of Class 33, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. And from the junior division, out of Class 35, the champion is Alexis Cook, followed up by the reserve champion Junior U out of Class 35, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. This will be your lineup for your champion overall White Dorper U.
a stellar set of White Dorper ewes out here for the champion lineup. We'll start here in the junior division. One that's ultra feminine in terms of her front end, the way she lays that shoulder in. One that's super level down her top, still has plenty of depth in the middle of her skeleton. One that's just a really balanced package from the side. We got a yearling ewe back here, one that is ultra long from that 13th rib back, handles with tremendous length, one that's got plenty of power and still yet plenty of look from the side. I think it does get kind of close, in my opinion, here for a champion. I'm going to go out and reevaluate him and shake the hand of your champion, White Dorper ewe.
Your champion, White Dorper ewe, today comes from the senior division, exhibited by Sally Everhart. Your reserve champion, White Dorper ewe, comes from the junior division, exhibited by Alexis Cook. Congratulations to those exhibitors. As we're going to take a quick 2-minute pause, but we'll pick right back up with Class 37, Senior Dorper Ram in the show ring. So everybody stand by. All right, our judge is back. We are now ready to start with Class 37 Senior Dorper Rams here in Ring 2. Beginning that Class 38 single entry Senior Dorper Ram, ready to go ringside, please.
Starting out the Dorper show here, a really powerful ram that started out, one that's super big-footed in terms of the ground, one that's really square as you analyze him from the ground up, one that handles with tremendous length from the side, still has plenty of power on the top side of his skeleton. Really good Dorper ram to start out the show.
Places Class 37 Dorper Rams, first in class. Went to Vivian Stevenson. Congratulations. We are now ready to show Class 38 Senior Dorper Ram in the ring, please. At the conclusion of Class 38, we will pick your Senior Division Dorper Ram champion. And then we'll start with Class 39 Junior Dorper Rams. Begin those Class 39 and 40 Junior Dorper Rams Ready in the makeup area, please, here in ring 2.
Another single entry in the Dorper division. A really nice senior ram out here. One that's pretty extended in his front 1/3. One that comes with a lot of power and muscle. Definitely opened up in terms of his rib and sits down on a good set of feet and legs.
Places from Class 38. Senior Dorper Rams, first in the class went to Vivian Stevenson. Congratulations. We are now ready for the selection of your champion senior division Dorper Ram. From Class 37, we have Vivian Stevenson. And from Class 38, we also have Vivian Stevenson.
Two really nice Dorper Rams out here for the senior champion drive. I think one of them just comes at me a little smoother in terms of his build. One's a little bit better in terms of his balance from the side. One does have a little bit more power out here. Maybe need to tweak his mouth ever so slightly. I'll go out and select your senior champion.
Your champion senior division Dorper Ram came from Class 38, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. Your reserve senior division champion Dorper Ram came from Class 37, also exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. We are now ready for the selection of your overall champion Dorper Ram. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, we're on juniors. Sorry about that. So this is Class 39 Junior Dorper Rams in the show ring. Beginning at Class 40, single entry Dorper Ram, ready to go ringside, please.
two bucks out here that differ in terms of their type and kind. The one I'm going to go ahead and use today is the one that's the most fault-free in terms of its structure, one that gets out with the most flexibility on the move, one that comes out just a little bit better in terms of its hip back to its tail head. I really love the way this guy's neck sits right at the top point of his shoulder. I do need to open this guy up in terms of natural muscle shape. I'd like to see a little bit more comparatively down his top to our second one. But in terms of structure, this guy checks the boxes for me today. The buck here in two, definitely the more shapely one. I do appreciate the rack and the loin shape that this guy comes with. He's a little bit more opened up in terms of his forerib, stouter in terms of the ground. One that maybe gets outside himself, especially when he's coming at you and going away. One that does get a little rounder out of his hip. Maybe just doesn't move with enough flexibility as our class winner, but a really good class of Dorper Rams.
Point of order. So there has been a scratch in Class 40 Junior Dorper Rams. So Class 39 became your junior division champion. So first in the class and your champion Junior Dorper Ram went to Avery Mills. Second in the class and your reserve junior champion Dorper Ram went to Vivian Stevenson. Congratulations. So now we are ready to show for your overall champion Dorper Ram. We need the senior champion out of Class 38, shown by Vivian Stevenson. The reserve champion senior Dorper Ram out of Class 37, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. From the junior division, we need the junior champion shown out of Class 39, shown by Avery Mills. And out of Class 39, the reserve champion junior, showed by Vivian Stevenson. This is your lineup for your overall champion Dorper Ram today.
For the champion Dorper Ram lineup, pretty easy decision in my opinion. One that's just a little bit more opened up in terms of his skeleton. Comes at you wider, goes away from you wider. One that's just got a little bit more rib shape and overall is just opened up more in terms of his skeleton. Taking nothing away from the other Rams out here. I think there's one that's just pretty fault-free in terms of his structure. Just need to open that guy up, and I think maybe as he matures, he just might. But that's how I see him today.
Your champion overall Dorper Ram for today goes to, out of the senior division, goes to Vivian Stevenson from Class 38. Your reserve champion overall Dorper Ram was your junior champion out of Class 39, exhibited by Avery Mills. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We are now ready to move into senior Dorper U's. There is 6 entries in Class 41. Need those Class 42 senior Dorper U's to the makeup area also, please. And this will be the first call for Class 43, 44, and 45 junior Dorper U's to the makeup area, please. First call, classes 43, 44, and 45 junior Dorper U's to the makeup area, please.
really nice Dorper Yearling U class. Sorts itself pretty easily, in my opinion. There's one U that's got to win pretty easily. One that's super dimensional down her top. One that's really fault-free in terms of her structure. Probably one of the cleanest ones in terms of her chest floor of these bigger U's in the top end. One that is ultra feminine, a really easy place to start. The U here in 2 follows our class winner in most in terms of type and kind. One that's level down her top, but mostly appropriate in terms of her condition. Still comes with plenty of muscle shaping, gets out and motors around fairly easy. Where these two soared is just in that front 1/3. She gets a little bit chestier for me today comparatively to our class winner. Really nice group of U's. We got a big, powerful U here in 3rd. One that is definitely level in terms of her line, good on her feet and legs. I need to peel some bark off of this U. She's just carrying too much condition for me today. Maybe if we get some of that off, we can reevaluate and compare to the top 2 closer in this class. Ultra feminine U here in 4th. One that's really nice from the side, balances up fairly nice. One just when I get my hands on her, she just isn't opened up as much in terms of the upper side of her skeleton. One that I just need to blow apart in terms of her rib shape, drop her in her flank, and maybe free her up on them hind wheels a little bit today, but a really feminine U. Young man brings us a really moderate one here next. One that definitely is super muscular down her top. Got plenty of stifle shape in this one. Comparatively, she shortens up from flank to flank. There just isn't quite enough U there to compete with the ones up above him, but still a really complete individual. Young lady brings us a really nice level U here to round out the class. One that is a little bit longer sided than the one in front of her. One that I entirely need to open her up in terms of her skeleton. I need to drop her in terms of that flank, make her bolder in terms of her rib, square her up on them hind wheels, and we can work on moving her up in this class. A really good class of Dorper Yearling U's.
Placings from Class 41, Senior Dorper U's. First in the class went to Avery Mills. Second, shown by Vivian Stevenson. Third, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. Fourth, went to Avery Mills. Fifth, shown by Waylon Jester. And sixth, shown by Adeline Jester. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now ready to show Class 42 Senior Dorper U's in the show ring. At the conclusion of Class 42, we'll be selecting your Senior Division Dorper U champion. So we need those Class 43, 44, and 45 Junior Dorper U's ready to go in the makeup area, please. Classes 43, 44, and 45 Junior Dorper U's ready to go in the makeup area, please.
Again, another easy class for me to sort here in the senior division. The U we started off with is the most fault-free in terms of her structure, especially when we set that one into motion. She is the most flexible in terms of them hind legs, one that is super balanced from the side. Is she the most opened up one in terms of the class? No, but for a female to be feminine like that and fault-free in terms of her structure, she gets the nod pretty easily for me today. The most shapely one comes here in 2, one that is opened up on the top side of her skeleton. I really do like the rib shape that this one comes with. She does have a big lower stifle shape comparatively to our class winner, one that just gets a little bit tighter in terms of her structure. Set that one in motion. She pops that spine a little restricted off them hind wheels. We round out the class. A young lady brings us a super long-sided one out here. I do love that length that this one comes with. Just as you get past that shoulder, she gets a little tighter in terms of her forerim. She doesn't drop as nearly deep in terms of her flank, and is the tightest moving one in terms of the class. A really good class of door per use.
Places from Class 42, Senior Door per Use. First in the class went to Avery Mills. Second, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. And third, shown by Adeline Jester. We are now ready for the selection of your senior champion. Door per U. From Class 41, we need the first place U of Avery Mills, the second place U of Vivian Stevenson, and from Class 42, we also need the first place U of Avery Mills, the second place U of Vivian Stevenson. This is your senior division lineup for selection of your senior division champion, Door per U.
Here for the senior champion drive, a couple of U's that just stick out in my opinion. Ones that are a little bit more feminine, ones that are a little more appropriate in terms of their condition today, the way I like to see them. Ones I still think have plenty of power and plenty of dimension and rib shape to them. I'll go out and select your senior champion.
Your senior division champion comes from Class 41, exhibited by Avery Mills. Your reserve senior champion, Door per U, comes from Class 42, exhibited by Avery Mills. Congratulations. We are now ready to roll into our junior Door per U's with Class 43, 3 entries. Beginning those Class 44 and 45. Junior Door per U's ready to go in the makeup area, please. Need those Class 44 and 45 junior Door per U's ready to go ringside and ring 2. Thank you.
you that starts out this class is definitely with, the one with the most shape on the top side of her skeleton. And yet, when we ask this one to go, she keeps her spine in check for me and is still flexible enough off them rear wheels, yet feminine enough that her neck attaches at the right point of her shoulder. Ultra feminine female here in second, one that is really pretty and tucked up in terms of her chest floor, one that just doesn't come with quite as much power down her top line, isn't quite as long from flank to flank as our class winner, but a really nice pair of ewes to start out the class. We got a little bit more immature one here in third, one that is pretty level in terms of her lines and gets out on the goes fairly nice. One that just ends up being the narrowest up top in terms of her skeleton. One that gets the flattest in terms of her rib shape comparatively to the two above them, but a really nice class of Dorper ewes.
Placings from Class 43, Junior Dorper ewes. First in the class went to Vivian Stevenson. Second in the class went to Avery Mills. And third in the class went to Avery Mills. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We are now ready to show Class 44 Dorper ewes in the show ring. Need those Class 45 Junior Dorper ewes ready to go on standby in the show ring here in Ring 2, please.
Nice class of Dorper ewe lambs out here. The one we're going to go ahead and start with, the ones that the squarest in terms of the way her hip shape is built, the one that is most level in terms of the dock set, comes with a lot of extra shape into that lower stifle. Maybe isn't the longest one in the class, but just the most fault-free. Maybe need to clean up a little bit of the black spots there on the back legs, but it's okay for me today. You here in two definitely is the longer-sided one, one that handles with a touch more shape as you evaluate her on the top side of her skeleton. One I really need to square up in terms of her hind leg placement. She gets a little tighter moving out in terms of that hip and just isn't quite as square as our class winner.
Placings from Class 44, Junior Dorper ewes. First in the class went to Avery Mills. Second also went to Avery Mills. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We are now ready to show Class 45 Junior Dorper ewes in the show ring. 3 entries. At the conclusion of Class 45, we will pick your junior division champion, followed by the selection of your overall champion Dorper ewe for today. This will be the first call. This will be the first call for Class 46, 47, and 48 Oxford Rams to the makeup area in Ring 2, please. First call, Classes 46, 47, and 48, Oxford Rams to the makeup area in ring 2, please. Thank you.
Really good class, Dorper Ulams. Why don't we go ahead and start with the most fault-free one, in my opinion, the one that gets out and moves with the most flexibility, the one that really keeps her top line in check. When we set this one in motion, ultra feminine build from the side, still has enough shape, enough depth of rib for me. Ulamian 2, one that definitely has the most top shape on the top side of her skeleton, one, excuse me, one that shortens up a little bit from flank to flank for me today. One that maybe wants to pop her top as we ask this one to set in motion. If we could settle her down and get her to move a little bit better, she can rival that one at the top of the class to get up there. We run out the class with a smaller, little bit more moderate one. One that is a little bit shorter from the side. One that doesn't quite square up enough for me, especially off those rear wheels. And just when I set her into motion, she really wants to drop that front end and run the wrong way for me today. But a really nice class of door per use.
Placings from class 45. Junior door per use. First in the class went to Avery Mills. Second in the class went to Vivian Stevenson. And third in the class went to Avery Mills. Congratulations. We are now ready for the selection of our junior champion door per U. We need back from class 43 the first place U of Vivian Stevenson, the second place U of Avery Mills. From class 44, we need the first place U of Avery Mills, the second place U of Avery Mills. And from class 45, the first place U of Avery Mills, the second place U of Vivian Stevenson. This will be your lineup for your junior division champion door per U. We'll be following this up with the selection of your overall champion door per U shortly. This will be the second call for classes 46, 47, 48. Oxford Rams to the holding area in ring 2, please. 46, 47, 48. Second call for Oxford Rams to the holding area in ring 2, please.
Here for junior champion, I think there's one that really commands my attention when she steps out here in terms of overall shape, especially on the top side of her skeleton. One that is just super long as you evaluate her from flank to flank, gets out and moves on a good set of feet and legs, and is super stout at the ground. I think there's one that most closely follows in terms of having the most natural shape and is the squarest, especially as you work from that hip back to that tailhead. I'll go out and select your junior and reserve junior champion.
Your junior champion, Dorper U, comes out of class 43, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson. Your reserve champion, Junior Dorper U, comes out of class 44, exhibited by Avery Mills. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We are now ready for the selection of your overall champion, Dorper U. We need the senior champion of Avery Mills out of class 41, the reserve senior champion out of class 42 of Avery Mills. We need the champion junior Dorper U from class 43, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson, and from class 44, the reserve junior champion Dorper U, exhibited by Avery Mills. This is your championship lineup for your overall champion, Dorper U. This is also the last call for classes 46, 47, and 48. Oxford Rams to the holding area in ring 2, please. Last call. Classes 46, 47, and 48. Oxford Rams to the holding area in ring 2, please.
A really stellar Dorper show. Ones that had a lot of quality all the way from the top of the classes to the bottom. I commend you exhibitors for bringing out a really deep set. Just females that are ultra feminine in terms of the way they are presented, especially in the front 1/3. Ones that lay their shoulder in them very nicely, but ones that ultimately get wider and deeper as they progress back. Ones that ask them when you get out in motion are very flexible in terms of both ends of their skeleton. As we get out here for the drive, I pretty much have my mind made up. I think there's one that wins pretty easily, in my opinion, and a really close second to follow. I'll go out and congratulate the champion, Dorper U.
Congratulations to your champion, Dorper U. Comes from the senior division out of class 41, exhibited by Avery Mills. Your reserve champion overall, Dorper U, comes from the junior division, exhibited by Vivian Stevenson out of class 43. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We are now ready to start with the Oxford Rams. Need class 46, single entry, Oxford Ram into the show ring at this time, please. Beginning those class 47 and 48. Oxford Rams ready to go ringside here in ring 2. We're starting to wind it down. This is the last breed of today here in ring 2.
I gotta let her finish first so she can do the Carry Hills. There's only 2 of them. Young man brings us an Oxford yearling buck out here. One, I really do appreciate the breed character and the light color that this guy comes with. One that's super stout in terms of his footwork. One that's super long-sided. Getting picky on this guy. I'd like to square him up as you get him back to that hip into his hind leg, but definitely a big growthy ram that has done quite well for this young man.
Placings from class 46. Oxford Rams, senior Oxford Rams. First in the class went to Isaac Miner. Congratulations. We are now ready for class 47, senior Oxford Ram, single entry. At the conclusion of Class 47, we will select your Senior Division Champion Oxford Ram. And then we will move into Class 48 Junior Oxford Rams. This is going to be followed by the selection of your junior. That's one class of juniors, so your champion junior division will come out of that class, and then we'll pick your overall champion, Oxford Ram.
Another single entry class, really eye appealing fall buck from the side. One that's super extended, long neck on top of this guy. One that's super stout in terms of his bone work, really good in terms of his color. I just need to blow this guy apart in terms of his rib shape and deepen him up in terms of his flank. But from the side, this guy really balances up quite nicely for me.
Places from Class 47, Senior Oxford Rams. First in the class went to Kenzie Meyer. Congratulations. So we are now ready to show for your champion, Senior Division Oxford Ram. From Class 46, we need Isaac Miner. And from Class 47, we need Kenzie Meyer. Back in for your champion Senior Division lineup, please. This is the last call, Class 48. Junior Oxford Rams to the makeup area in ring 2, please. There is one class of Junior Oxford Rams. So this will also be the selection of your junior champion also.
Two really nice Oxford Rams for the senior champion drive. Two that are really good in terms of their breed character. I think one strikes me with a little bit more squareness as you get from that hip into the hind leg. One that just tracks a little bit wider as you ask that one to go away from you. I'll go out and congratulate your senior champion.
Okay. Do me a favor. Mark RCY there real quick. Here. Congratulations to your Senior Division Oxford Ram, champion Senior Division Oxford Ram, out of Class 47, exhibited by Kenzie Miner. Your reserve Senior Division Oxford Ram comes from Class 46, exhibited by Isaac Miner. Congratulations. We are now ready to show Class 48. Class 48, Junior Oxford Rams. This class will also be the selection of your Junior Division Oxford Ram for today here at the 2026 Youth Sheep Expo. At the conclusion of Class 48, we'll need the champion and reserve champion Senior Oxford Rams back in for selection of your overall champion Oxford Ram. So please be on standby, ready to go in ring 2, please. This is the first call for classes 49, 50, 51, and 52. Oxford U's, classes 49, 50, 51, and 52. Oxford U's to the makeup area in ring 2, please. These are the last 4 classes of the day here in ring 2. 49, 50, 51, and 52. First call to ring 2, please.
Really nice class of Oxford buck lambs. The buck we're going to go ahead and start with, definitely the one that's stoutest in terms of his bone work at the ground. The one that is the squarest as you get into his rear wheels. You ask that buck to go, he moves the best out of the three out here. I'd like to maybe lengthen him out comparatively to the other two out here. In terms of stoutness and structural integrity, that one's a pretty easy winner in my book. Buck here in 2 is definitely the longest sided buck of the class, one that is super level in terms of his top line, really good in terms of his breed character, extended and long necked. Just as I work back into this guy's hip and into his hind leg, he likes to throw them hocks out a little bit too much for me. Isn't quite as square as you get from that hip back to that dock set, but still a nice, very extended ram. We round out the class with a ram that's super level and super straight in terms of his lines, one that is really up-headed. Need to straighten up this guy in terms of his front legs. Need to fix him in terms of the way he moves as to set him into motion. I need him to track a little more confidently on those rear wheels, but a really nice class of Oxford Ram Lambs.
Placings from Class 48 Junior Oxford Rams. First in the class in your champion junior division Oxford Ram goes to Nash Arthur. Second in the class in your reserve junior division Oxford Ram goes to Nash Arthur. And third in the class is exhibited by Chloe Decker. We are now ready to show for your champion overall Oxford Ram. So we need from the senior division the champion of Kinsey Meyer and the reserve champion of Isaac Miner. From the junior division, we need Nash Arthur with his first place and Nash Arthur with his second place for junior division. This is your champion. This is your overall champion lineup for champion Oxford Ram here at the 2026 U-Sheep Expo.
Here for the champion Ram lineup, pretty easy decision in my mind. I think there's a couple of bucks out here that just when you set them into motion are a little bit more confident and follow their tracks better for me today. I think there's one that's just a little more opened up in terms of his skeleton, comes with a little bit more natural width, but both bucks come out here, a really good set of feet and legs, are very stout in terms of their bone work. I'll go out and congratulate your champion Ram.
Your champion, overall champion Oxford Ram comes out of the junior division, out of Class 48, exhibited by Nash Arthur. Congratulations. Your overall reserve champion Oxford Ram is your champion senior division Oxford Ram out of Class 47, exhibited by Kinsey Meyer. We are now ready to start our Oxford U Show with Class 49 with 6 entries. One class is senior division. So this will also be the selection of your senior division champion Oxford U here in Class 49. Beginning those Class 50, 51, and 52 junior Oxford U's to the makeup area, please. First call, Class 50, 51, and 52 junior division Oxford U's to the makeup area, please, and ring 2.
A really tough Oxford Yearling U class out here to sort. The U that we're going to go ahead and start with is just the most fault-free, in my opinion. The one that's super level down her top. She's got plenty of rib shape. For being a taller statured fitted U, still has plenty of body. She's got plenty of bone work under her. You asked her to get out in motion. She moves with a lot of flexibility. We got the biggest U here in 2, and one that I do love the look of this one from the side. One that's just super elegant in his front 1/3. One is she's super level down that top. One I just need to add about 20, 25 more pounds on this one. Get her a little bit wider made for me today. I think she can rival that one up there at the top of the class. A little bit different speed we got here in 3. The slick sheared U that comes at us with a ton of power. One that is really stout in terms of the ground. One that just shortens up a little bit for me from flank to flank. One that does have plenty of width just comparatively to these bigger fitted U's in here. Just doesn't quite have enough of her today to compete in the top 2 of this class. U here in 3 is one that is super level in terms of her lines. One that's level down her top and does have some rib shape. She's getting a little bit more out there in terms of her shoulder. I need to square her up in terms of them front wheels as she's coming at me today. One that does get a little bit narrower as you get from her hip back into her hind leg, but I really complete you from the side. We get to this next U here in line, one that's a little bit more moderate in terms of the way she's made. One that does come with plenty of rib shape as level down her top. One I'd like to see a little bit more wool on those feet and legs, maybe stouten her up and we can move her up in terms of this class. We round out the class with a really bold ribbed U here, one that's super stout in terms of her bone work. She just shortens up for me from flank to flank today. It's probably the lowest in terms of her hip set. Need to bring that tail head up and square on them hind wheels, but a really good class of Oxford Yearling U's all the way through.
Placings from Class 49, Senior Oxford U's. First in class in your senior division, champion Oxford U goes to Chloe Decker. Second in the class in your reserve champion, Senior Oxford U, also goes to Chloe Decker. Third, shown by Alexis Cook. Fourth, shown by Maverick Brom. Fifth went to Isaac Miner. And sixth went to Emma Miner. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We are now ready to show Class 50. Class 50 Junior Oxford U's in the show ring, please. Class 50 has 2 entries, Chloe Decker and Lydia Poole. Please begin those Class 51 and 52 Junior Oxford U's to the holding area and ring 2, please. Class 51, 52 Junior Oxford U's to the makeup area and ring 2, please.
Here in the early junior U-Lambs, pretty easy class for me to sort. There's one that just got a little bit more natural width to her, one that just handles that hind leg a little bit better. We set this one into motion. She's just so balanced from the side, really feminine in terms of her front 1/3. Maybe need to stretch her out for personal preference, but I think there's just so much good. She usually wins this class. That's where this ewe here in 2 definitely has the advantage from flank to flank in terms of length. She's really level in terms of her top line. I need to see her track a little bit wider as I ask her to go away from me. Maybe need to blow her apart in terms of the center portion of her body and add some more rib shape, but a really good class of Oxford ewes.
Placings from Class 50, Junior Oxford ewes. First in the class went to Lydia Poole. Second went to Chloe Decker. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We are now ready for Class 51. Junior Oxford ewes, single entry into the show ring, please. Beginning those Class 52, Junior Oxford ewes. It'll be the last class of the day. Class 52, Junior Oxford ewes ready to go in the makeup area, please, in ring 2. Thank you.
Just a single entry here in the ewe lamb class. Very growthy lamb at this stage. One that's super level in terms of her lines. One that when you ask her to go, she gets out and moves with a lot of flexibility. One I think is just going to get better and better as you feed on this one through the fall and into next year.
Congratulations to Isaac Miner on your Class 51 winning Junior Oxford ewe. We are now ready for Class 52. This is the last class of the day here in ring 2. Junior Oxford ewes, Class 52. Junior Oxford ewes are in the show ring as we speak. Last class of the day here in ring 2.
Get out here in a class, one that is just the best breed character one to start out the class. She's level enough in terms of her lines. Is she the best bodied one in the class? No, but just has the most pieces and the most boxes checked for me in terms of breed standards to win this class. Ewe Lamb 2, one that does get a little bit shorter for me from the side, one that is pretty level in terms of her lines. Need to clean up that gray spot a little bit on this one and widen her out to compete with our class winner. The best overall sheep stands here in third, one that is definitely the longest from flank to flank, super level and super elegant, just entirely too much dark fiber as it works up them rear legs into the bottom of the butt, and it is, just need to clean this one up in that aspect, but a really nice class.
Results from Class 52, Junior Oxford Ewes. First in the class went to Nash Arthur. Second went to Emma Miner. Third went to Lydia Poole. We are now ready to pick your junior division champion, Oxford Ewes. We need the first place of Lydia Poole, the second place of Chloe Decker from Class 50. We need the first place ewe from Class 51 of Isaac Miner. And from Class 52, we need the first place ewe of Nash Arthur, the second place ewe of Emma Miner for your selection of your junior champion, Oxford ewe. After that, we will then be picking our overall champion, Oxford ewe. So be ready with your senior champion reserves on standby.
Really nice junior Oxford show out here. A couple of ewes out here that just got a little bit more dimension. Ones that are a little bit longer from the side. Ones that are really feminine, especially in the front 1/3. And they're good on their feet and legs. I'll go select your junior and reserve junior champion.
Your junior division champion, Oxford ewe, comes out of Class 50, exhibited by Lydia Poole. Congratulations. Your reserve junior division champion, Oxford ewe, comes out of Class 52, exhibited by Nash Arthur. Congratulations to those two. We are now ready for the selection of your overall champion, Oxford ewe. From the senior division, we need the champion of Chloe Decker, also the reserve champion senior ewe of Chloe Decker. From the junior division, we need the champion of Lydia Poole and the reserve champion of Nash Arthur. This is your champion lineup for overall champion Oxford ewe. This is the last breed of today. Those of you gathered ringside, let's please put our hands together for our judge, Austin Brockman. He's done a hell of a job the last 2 days working through crazy people that don't know what they're doing. So, Austin, thank you very much. We really appreciate it, okay? Thank you.
Here for champion Oxford ewe, a really stellar group of females that these exhibitors have brought out. I think there's one that just really catches my eye in terms of the way she's built, just her femininity, especially in the front 1/3. One that is just dead level down her top, and she's still super stout at the ground. Pretty easy reserve follows up. Let's give these kids a round of applause. I'll go out and select your champion ewe.
Your champion, Oxford ewe, comes from the junior division, exhibited by Lydia Poole. Congratulations. Your reserve champion, Oxford ewe, comes from the senior division, exhibited by Chloe Decker. This concludes day number 2 and ring number 2 of the 2026 Youth Sheep Expo. Thank you to all of you that are gathered around here ringside for being a part of this year. Please be listening on the PA. We will announce shortly what time we will start the grand drive for the Rams. 1 o'clock. We will start the grand drives at 1 o'clock, and we will make the call when it's time for lineup. We will do lineup here in this building here in where ring 2 is where our lineup will be. Here in ring 2, at 1 p.m.